After 48 hours in France, I know that I will never again be able to enjoy food in North America. They don't rely on industrial quantities of salt and sugar here. Food has flavor, food is fresh, every meal is a foodgasm. I'd love to hear what other North Americans think of European food. And vice versa. Edit. A lot of you are assuming I'm from the US. I am not. I am from Quebec, Canada. We are part of North America. Edit 2. Yes. Yes. Of course there's a bit of exaggeration when I say I'll never enjoy NA food. What I mean, and a lot of you did understand this, is that in just 2 days, I've been consistently impressed by the food here. I'm enjoying the food so damn much. I have stars in my eyes, definitely going to try and up my cooking game once I'm back home. Anyhow, it's been a slice of tartelette aux fraises discussing with you all. It's time for me to head out for some drinks, followed by dinner. Yes, more food with friends. Bon appétit à vous tous, partout dans le monde et plus. I live in North America. I eat fresh food every day. You don't have to buy the processed stuff sitting on shelves. I was in Quebec earlier this month and ate amazing food. Find better restaurants. Where in Quebec do you live? If you're even close to Montreal or Quebec City, you can be eating delicious fresh food every day. You just have to think seasonally and shop at smaller import stores. I've been to Europe quite a few times, France included, and didn't notice any significant difference compared to what I eat at home. Maybe you just have unhealthy habits when it comes to grocery shopping? American Redditors are usually the first to shit on the USA. Unless someone comes along with a post like op. I've experienced meals around the world, including France. Yay. They do seem to enjoy food a lot and appreciate a skillfully prepared spread. But op, you're selling your home province short. I've had some incredible food in Quebec. I'm gonna have to go against the grain here and say I wasn't overly impressed by French cooking when I went 4 years ago. When I came back from traveling in China, it took me about 2 weeks to get used to American sweets and candy again. We dump way too much sugar than needed into those things. French food was good, especially the bread. But Italy was better. And you can get good food in North America. I've eaten all around the world, and found that fresh ingredients cooked with care and intent make good meals. This is not a pro-France or anti-North America thing. It's just food. Man. Cultures. Ingredient costs. Ease of access and personal time constraints are probably the biggest culprits in this discussion. We all can eat healthy in the US, but it takes effort and money. However, I get you. It's easier to do over there and they really value quality food and ingredients. Take time to eat it and enjoy each other's company. I haven't been to France yet, but we are going to Italy in a few weeks and I can't wait. I've been to Germany, Amsterdam, Spain, all good food. Such good food. We always lose weight on our trips because we eat slowly and walk a lot. I love visiting there. I've actually missed American food after living in Europe for a year and a half. I find their food here bland. I'm from Texas where food generally has lots of flavor, spices and salsa and whatnot. Here it's very simple to focus on the quality of fresh ingredients, which is valid. It's just not my style. I've made American desserts and food for my friends here and they love it. I've spent a lot of time in various European countries, and generally find the food much better where I live in North America. But North America is a massive place, with its own different cultures and regional differences. So probably just depends on which part of the continent you're living in. I live in the US. Food is fresh and has flavor. I cook food from all over the world. And wait until you go to Italy, Portugal or Spain. You know you can buy fresh foods and then season them yourself, right? Lol. I eat fresh food that has flavor every day. I've been to France. Emo. Their food is overrated, overpriced and pretentious written all over it. You can have good food anywhere, it's not limited to France only. Vote accordingly then. We allow our political parties to sell our good production overseas. They have crippled the American farmer with regulation that doesn't promote natural grown food. USA born and raised. Stayed in France for 7 weeks a few years ago. Family is West African, been there, and many are in Quebec where you're from. Stayed there every summer for half my life. Eaten in Spain, Italy and Costa Rica as well. I strongly disagree. They don't rely on industrial quantities of salt and sugar here. At least in the US there is so much variety across the board. What and where were you eating at? Just wanted to mention that food quality in the US varies greatly from state to state. For example, even in the Northeast, the further up you go, the more pure organic, grass-fed, etc. the food is. So it's not uncommon for people to actually get temporarily sick from the transition. I'm not sure which state you live in, but that could account for the poor food quality. Don't they use massive amounts of butter? I still dream about the food in Italy and Spain, but I've found cities in the U.S. that also have great food. As a baseline, yeah, Europeans generally don't put as much salt sugar into items and has more consistent labeling standards. But it's not like it's impossible to get in the US, Canada either. Is it harder than it should be? Sure, but you can still do it so long as you're conscious of what you're buying and where you're buying from. Farmers markets are a thing here, as are organic meat, produce, and healthier versions of processed foods or alternatives. Quebec has pretty decent food, at least Quebec City does. But yes, you might need to learn how to cook some of that stuff yourself if you want to have access to it. I find that there's good food available here in Canada. However, it is pricey. Maybe learn to cook for yourself instead of relying on ready meals and takeout. Amazingly, you can create any food anywhere. I mean, you can enjoy food in North America. Just learn how to cook for yourself. It's much simpler than people make it out to be. Hell, to the point that much of it comes down to preferences. Do you want your steak medium rare or well done? Do you like your pasta al dente? Or do you want it to boil a bit longer and melt in your mouth? Things like this are what make cooking an art form. They are the brush strokes that make you an individual in the kitchen, with the plate as your canvas. From preparation to presentation, everything is a decision. I had the same reaction in Spain. It helps that when you travel you tend to take more trouble to seek out the good restaurants. But the art of starting with good fresh ingredients for good food was really on display in Spain. I moved to the US and I'm suddenly finding myself looking for things that at least have sugar in it. Usually it's corn syrup and that shit is gross. Most candy here is horrible. Other than that, I think if you go out to eat you can find good and bad food everywhere. Agreed. I can find that kind of stuff here. But it's not easy. Also a problem for me, coffee. So many places primarily make enormous, barely coffee-flavored milkshakes. Because that's what most people want. Finding a cappuccino that's 8 ounces or less is tough. Oh God, the snobbery. Vive la gastronomie française, France. I'm North American and eat fresh every day, lol. I mean, it just depends on what you buy at your local grocery store. It's not that hard actually. Stick to fresh fruits, veggies, lean meats. Moderate your dessert intake. Eat healthy carbs by getting grains and breads that are fresh or not processed.